I first want to say happy Thanksgiving for those of us in the United States who are going to be celebrating tomorrow. If you're listening before the holiday, perhaps you're listening on the holiday or maybe after. But I want to first express my gratitude for you tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you find yourself, I'm thrilled to have you as part of this community. Invite others in to the conversations you think are resonant for you and you think friends or family might benefit from. A growing community just helps spread this message more and more. Today is episode 48, and I feel that Mystical Sisterhood is gaining energetic momentum by the moment, by the day. My vision for what this all is becoming clearer and clearer with every passing day. I plan to do an episode with my takeaways at the end of the year. As an aside to today's topic of self-appreciation, let me read you the following about my bigger vision for Mystical Sisterhood and what we are creating. I may have come up with the name, the space, the guest, the topic, but I really feel like myself and you, the listener, are co-creating this together. So what I wrote yesterday morning was, the realm of the mystical and the unknown is what ties us together as women. A oneness that transcends time, space, continents. My vision is a new paradigm for women and our shared sisterhood, one in which we have a heightened awareness of our purpose and realize that we are more than the feminine form inhabiting a body. We are here to weave the tapestry we want to experience. It begins with our own stories and our own selves. We heal our personal woundings and ancestral traumas by learning how to be with ourselves in an intimate and compassionate way. From our inner work, our own inner work, exquisite compassion ripples out to heal those directly around us, our communities, and adds to the vibrational consciousness of the world. So I just wrote that sort of, I always like to go back and write vision statements or look at what has been done so far and what's being woven into that tapestry. And I love to think of these concepts and see them happening in real time. So if you have been a listener, let me know what you see as forming. I'd love to hear. So I'm usually interviewing somebody, and I've been transparent many times that is my sweet spot. That is my comfort zone. So every once in a while, I challenge myself to come to you with a topic and share my learnings, my own practices, and what I want to move into as well. Because if I know anything, we are all in the challenges and in our lives together. And so we benefit from when someone comes forward and shares something that has helped them and may help others. So, or support others. So, at first I thought I was going to do an episode on gratitude because it was Thanksgiving week. And I wasn't doing a whole lot for it, and it wasn't feeling quite resonant. And then appreciation was coming to me over and over. And we talk a lot about intuition on Mystical Sisterhood. And if you're a new listener or if you've been here long, you know that if something is coming to you again and again, it's trying to get your attention for you to do something with. So appreciation was what was coming to me throughout the week. So I followed it. So my soul care certification teacher, Suzi Lula, teaches a lot about appreciation. And that's when I really started to tune into the significance of it and the power that when we put intention and mindfulness around certain practices, such as appreciation, they can really grow and become exponential and have quite an impact. So this past week, I was rereading Suzi's book, The Motherhood Evolution, How Thriving Mothers Raise Thriving Children. And in a section towards the end of the book, she has many takeaways, such as practices of gratitude, appreciation, forgiveness, giving yourself permission, amongst others. And Suzi writes, appreciation isn't just a matter of being grateful to someone or something, but it's the act of holding someone or something in high regard. And I just love that juicy language of holding something in high regard. I often think of my children and how I hold them in high regard, and that I hold them in a very high place. And so my intention for them is to rise high in their lives. And that's an intention. And I bring energy to that. So holding someone or something in high regard. I just love the way it sounds. And then there's an old adage, and Suzi talks about it in her book, and I've run across it many times. What you appreciate appreciates. So it's really cool, right? What you appreciate appreciates. It grows. It grows and transforms. It gains more energy. It I feel like it's more abundant. It can take up more space. I think what you appreciate appreciates is typically thought of as with regard to money. And when we appreciate our money, it will appreciate, but it can apply to our inner lives and things we're doing to just I guess learn our life lessons, or put our rituals and sacred practices into place, and kind of gather momentum for them. But I was looking up that phrase, what you appreciate appreciates, and on Chopra.com, it is written that Buddha told his followers that whatever they chose to give their attention, their love, their appreciation, their listening, and their affirmation to would grow in their life and in their world. He likened one's life and world to a garden that calls for sunlight and nourishment and water to grow. In that garden are the seeds of compassion, forgiveness, love, commitment, courage, and all the qualities that affirm and inspire us. Our attention is like water and sunshine, and the seeds we cultivate will grow and fill our garden. If we choose to invest our attention in the seeds of scarcity, which is accumulation, greed, and all that springs from those seeds, then scarcity is what will fill the space of our life and the space of our world. But if we instead look at the abundance, the appreciation, the gratitude, that's the seeds we're planting, and that's what's going to grow. So as I get to the body of how we can do this, you can always turn towards the outer world, to your family, to your friends, to your pets, to whoever is significant in your life, and give appreciation to them. But I also know that when you turn that lens inward to first express self-appreciation, to honor yourself, then that garden can grow. And I think it's really important because a lot of our conditioned voices are, especially when we were younger, if we haven't really spent time, they might be, judgmental or self-critical, or have shame attached to them, or guilt. And when we go inward with intention of getting comfortable with those places and the ways that our inner dialogue and voices show up, this is where we can unravel and heal some of our old conditioning and pattern thoughts as well. So I really wanted to really focus on self-appreciation, especially when we come to the holidays, because we are we are carrying every experience that we've ever had in our lives. So even the ones from when we were young. And so we're cultivating what we want to experience. And so there's so many things that we have to do to get ready for Thanksgiving, right? Even when it's a more of a mellow, we are running around, we're getting food, we're trying to get to the grocery stores before they get too crowded. We're taking care of our children. Even if you're not a perfectionist, there is we have to do many things to get ready, especially if we're participating in a celebration, and not to mention what you're going to wear on the holiday. But we do all those things, and hopefully with intention, we're honoring it and practicing present moment awareness. So this podcast is always a reminder that take us back to that present moment awareness. So to practice self-appreciation, it doesn't require a lot. It's free. That's the good news. You don't have to go out and buy anything. You don't have to stand in a line or wait with a crowd. But it's a willingness to see yourself in your worthiness and deservingness of high praise. And that is so true because I know how hard you are working, whether it's at your day job, whether it's at your relationship with your partner, your relationship with your children, taking care of aging parents, all the things that as a woman, so many of us are at this midlife. We might be on the margins of it. It might be younger. But yeah, we're carrying a lot. I think the modern day woman is so aware for the most part of being so interested in her own growth that we carry a lot. So appreciating is so, so important. I was thinking it's not selfish to take this time. And the word, it's kind of made it up, but it's actually soulish. So it's not selfish, it's soulish. And you become fulfilled on the soul level, and nothing is more nourishing than that. I feel that when I infuse my life with either self-appreciation or appreciation, my vision feels less clouded and I have more clarity. I see myself in my wholeness. So I invite you to do the same. I thought of 5 ways to nurture self-appreciation. Number 1 was to appreciate how much you've grown and transformed. Consider where you were a year ago at this time. It's a lot, but what has happened in your life? What have you gotten through? What are you so proud of? The ways that you handled things, the challenges you faced. How are you different? And for me, I probably won't do this with everyone, but I really thought for me and my family, my 4 sisters and my brother, we no longer have our dad with us. A year ago, Thanksgiving, he was at an assisted living place in my town, and I brought him Thanksgiving dinner. And he's not here this year. He died at the end of the year. So I appreciate how I have held myself and my grief and my sadness with just such a gentle way. So that's an example in my last year of what I've grown and transformed with. So appreciating your year, how you've grown and transformed, and what's happening for you. Okay. Appreciate your willingness, if you're willing to have it, to be compassionate with yourself. A willingness that even if it begins today, to bring understanding, a compassionate understanding to your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, and experience, and willingness not to abandon your needs. So just appreciating the willingness, the curiosity, that just to be by your own side, and how you have stayed by your own side and not abandon yourself in the last month, in the last year. Appreciate the qualities, number 3, that you bring to others. Is it kindness that you bring? I think of this especially when we gather with others. Generosity. Do you bring vision? Your authenticity? Perhaps listening skills? The ability to be with someone else's messy? And these things, your ability to do these things are really, truly what make you uniquely you. And appreciate yourself for, I'm hoping in the last year, allowing that to come out more and more, allowing yourself to shine in those beautiful ways that only you can do. This has a ripple effect on other people. I am sure you are known for some of these things. So whether you realize it or not, tap into those qualities. Appreciate what it is you bring. Bringing more of your brilliance to the world is exponential. Number 4, appreciate your willingness to become still and listen to your own needs. I think this is part of what's really important about Mystical Sisterhood is that we're so deeply invested in one another's growth, and we're always deeply invested in our own, because we know that when we tap into what we need and our needs and getting to know our needs and what our unmet needs are, and fine tuning our listening to it, this is what helps us understand ourselves more and feel more grounded and centered. So I think when it pertains to coming together as families, appreciate your needs on that day for the weekend. If you're feeling, I need a step away to take a walk, a short walk in the nice weather, the fall crisp weather if you're in the Midwest, the warmth if you're in the South, do that. Or when you're thinking about your needs, plan for them. If it's waking up before others and lighting a candle and journaling a little bit, or, if there's a yoga class or anything that you're going to feel more grounded, take that seriously, for yourself, and appreciate your willingness to take up space. And that's abundance, that's spaciousness, that's taking up your own space also allows others to take up your own space. So often we can be the leader in doing that for ourselves. And another woman might say, oh, if she's willing to give herself or space to do that for herself, then maybe I can too. Because we're all transforming the conditioning and all the ways that we learned to not take care of ourselves. So appreciate yourself if you that you'll do that for yourself, and that you're so important, that by tuning in, you're tapping into your worthy and deservingness. And again, you'll shine that light on others and give them permission to do so as well. And lastly, I kind of alluded to this. Number 5 is appreciate how you show up in the world and all you do. If you're a listener here on Mystical Sisterhood, I know that if you're attracted to this space, you highly contribute to your families and your communities. Please, please, please appreciate and acknowledge the showing up that you do constantly to support others, whether it's your day job, whether it's helping your children through what they're going through. Like I said, whether it's picking up your parent from their home or their assisted living, and taking them to doctor's appointments and making sure they have what they need. Appreciate the heck out of those things you do for yourself. By practicing what's important to you and what you hold in high value, like having those relationships, having those connections, you're transforming on a soul level. You're affecting others' lives so positively. And that willingness to learn and grow in the ways that you support is very, very, very high contribution to this life. So I would say that, kind of in closing, that leaning into what you need and desire allows that younger part of you, your inner child, to know that you will care and nourish her no matter what. And these practices are really important when life is heightened, whether it's, for a lot of people, that is the holiday season, or whether you're going through a challenge of some sort. The power of appreciation practices will lay the tracks and grooves for new ways to come to yourself with compassion and self-love. And now, after you nurtured yourself, you can extend those appreciations out to the world. I did this last week with my kids and my partner, and the responses were so beautiful to get back, because it was a mirror back, like, oh, Mom, thank you so much. I'm that way because of you. Or, wow, I didn't expect that message from you. Or, I appreciate your support on my journey. It means a lot. But that's what we're doing for ourselves first. And if we have that inner dialogue with ourselves, oh my gosh, I would have loved to have developed that at age 5 or 10, or when I was a teen. Woo, it would have been great. It would have felt that's the quality I want to live in. But we can do it for ourselves now. And we're together on this. So I just want to say before I log off that thank you for being here today and listening to the ways to enrich your inner experience. I love, love, love to be in the discussions about the practices, because they remind me to practice with myself too. To always have like that gentleness and that compassion and that eagerness to know what I need and what I'm here for, and amongst so many other things. I'll always seek those conscious conversations that serve to grow my own inner consciousness. So I invite you to continue to listen to the podcast, share it where you can, so we can continue this type of conversation in our sisterhood and our brotherhood too. I'm always available for joining on a coaching journey. I usually see clients for 12 weeks, and we work on all sorts of these things that we're talking about in the podcast today, whatever's tailor-made for you, to dive really deeply in listening to yourself, maybe in a new way, and to transform the voices that no longer serve you in any way, shape, or form. I'm really interested in those conversations. Or we've always got Mystical Sisterhood membership. That's where we're sort of feeding and nurturing each other on our personal paths, which really creates a magnificent collective energy. If you love the conversations about how we can connect with ourselves first and foremost, to becoming so connected in community, go check out the show notes for how to check out Mystical Sisterhood. It's at mysticalsisterhood.com. You can always email me at hello@maureenspielman.com, or just follow on Instagram at Maureen Spielman. Get in touch with me any way you want, or can, or find. I'm here for the conversation. So what I wish for you are many, many, many self-appreciations. And if you want to share those, I'm here to listen as well. I hope you have or had a joyous and grounded holiday. And I really appreciate you being here. And I appreciate myself for creating this episode. And I'm so excited to see you in the next one. Thanks for listening to this episode of Mystical Sisterhood. To learn more about my one-on-one coaching programs or join the Mystical Sisterhood membership, visit MaureenSpielman.com or MysticalSisterhood.com. Thanks so much. I'll see you in the next episode.